Hey guys, Speedoz here, and today I bring you a new video about a Hollow Palm Cyclone Berserker, which we've reached level 91. For the bandits, we've killed all of them for the +2 passive points. In the Ascendancy, first of all, crave the Slaughter because of the rage hits. Gives us increased attack damage, attack speed, movement speed. Second one is Warbringer. As soon as you get this node here, Battle Cry, we can use War Cries instantly. And this gives us plenty of attack speed and chance to do double damage, which is quite good. Third one, Rite of Ruin, increases the effect of Rage. And last one, in the Uber Lab, Aspect of Carnage, plenty of damage. For the build, you want to stack as much dexterity as possible. And as soon as you start your character, you want to go all the way here to this jewel node and put your 1-hit-nothing jewel inside your passive tree, which will give us the Hollow Palm technique. What does this jewel do? We gain some properties that we count as dual wielding when we are unencumbered. Gives us 60% more attack speed, 14 to 20 flat physical damage per 10 dex, as long as we don't have any weapons or gloves equipped. I'll explain in a moment why people use Mjolnirs and Repentance gloves in the build. Okay, but for now, the jewels that we use for the tree are 2 fluid motions. These ones transforms all these strength passives in radius to dexterity. You can see here that our dex is 856 and it goes up to 1k as soon as we put these 2 jewels in these nodes here. You want to get as much dex as possible, like I told you. Going this way, some dex here, these proficiency nodes, some dual wielding nodes as well. And for cluster jewels, I chose to get a large cluster with increased attack damage in the implicit with deep cuts, smite the meek, and 2 dual socket passives. Why? Because then we can socket in 2 medium clusters with increased damage in the implicit as well, and assert dominance and magnifier. For the large jewel, deep cuts means that our impale inflicts 1 additional hit, increasing our damage by a lot, and smite the meek because of the increased attack damage against main enemies. The 2 medium cluster jewels give some AoE and AoE damage, which is quite good, and improves a little bit the AoE of the Hollow Palm, which is quite low, I would say. Then, what else? For the gear, first of all, Star Conges for the helmet because it gives us plenty of dexterity, some life, some attack speed. It's a very easy to get helmet and a very cheap one, so I thought this would be a very good option for the build. The Ascendancy amulet because it gives us plenty of dexterity and all attributes, which is good for the damage, and it's also easy to get, easy to buy one. For the anointment, we use forceful skewering because of the impale property. For the rings, you want to get as much life and resistance and dexterity as possible. If you can and you can afford one, it will be very nice to get a vulnerability curse on hit ring as well from the Warlord's base. Quite useful to increase up our damage. For the boots, this one is very nice, gives us dexterity, movement speed, and most important of all, +2 maximum life per 10 dexterity. If we have 1k dex, this means we have 200 life flat on our boots. It's like a Chaos Roots with more dexterity and increased movement speed. Very nice boots for the build. You can use this one if you like to. And for the belt, we use a Cyclopean coil because of the increased attributes. If you have a Headhunter, you can swap whenever you want. I chose this one also because it doesn't have any resistances, and you cannot be frozen if you have your dexterity higher than your intelligence, which will always be because we want to stack as much dexterity as possible. For the weapons, of course, we don't use any because of the Hollow Palm technique, but you can use 2 weapons and a gloves if you don't have enough requirement stats to wear them. How do you put them on? You can use a ring like this with plenty of attributes such as strength and intelligence. As soon as you wear the ring, you're able to equip those items. And you'll notice that your damage will decrease by a lot because you lose all the hollow palm properties. As soon as you put another ring, the correct one, you lose the stats requirements, the stats required to wear those items. Those will not work anymore in your build, and thus you will receive the properties from hollow palm back again. So this is why people use Mjolnirs and repentance gloves, so they can socket in gems to level them up, and then whenever they feel like, they can wear the ring again, switch the gems, and then wear the correct ring again, and then keep the process on and on until they make lots of profit by selling the gems that they level up. Alright? But do not use any weapons or gloves if they are not with this red background, because this means that they're not being used for your build. Okay? For the gems, we use Enduring Cry, Dread Banner, Berserk. Remember to use Berserk when you're bossing, when your rage is fully stacked. Blood Rage, Maim linked with Flesh and Stone, because this way, when in Blood stance, you will see that your nearby enemies are mained while in Blood stance. Also Pride to give you more damage, and Dash. This is quite useful. You will see that you'll be able to dash while you're cycloning, as well as War Crying, because War Cry is instantly due to this node, so it's quite useful to gain some attack speed, increase the damage, and recover some life if you feel like you need to. For the Cyclone, we have Cyclone 6 link with melee phase damage, brutality, impale, fortify, and pulverize. If you feel like, you can swap this pulverize with infused channeling. It will give you more damage indeed, but it will decrease your AoE as well. And as you can see, our AoE is not that great because of the hollow palm nodes and stuff. And for the flasks, we use a life flask, Lion's Roar, Basalt, a silver flask, and a quicksilver one for our movementation. I chose Lion's Roar because of the more melee phase damage, obviously, but also because of the armor. And a Basalt is quite good too because of the melee phase damage taken when we are mapping and bossing. Since we have Aspect of Carnage, we are a bit of vulnerable, so anything that builds up our defensive layers more is always welcome. For the leveling, this leveling using Hollow Palm is incredibly easy. You can level any character and any Ascendancy basically with Hollow Palm and an Astra Mantis, because this amount of stats is more than enough to help you clear through the leveling process. You can also use 2 Le Hupaval because it gives us plenty of all attributes and increased damage, some elemental res as well. Or you can use the Thief Torments like I did because of the life gain on hit, which is incredible when using Cyclone, for example. So this leveling process using Hollow Palm is really easy, and you can level any build with this. Have this in mind. You can also use Intrinsic Catalyst because it enhances the attributes from our Astra Mantis or rings or belts if you feel like you need to. You see that our maximum increased attributes from the belt is 15%, but when it has 20% quality, these increased attributes goes up to 18%. And we can also use the Prismatic Catalyst to increase our resistances from our rings, for example, if you feel like you need more resistances. Alright? This belt here I crafted using Awakener Orb. It is quite useful because of the explode and the minus 15 mana cost for our skills. But if you use a wild wrap, which you can see in your screen right now, it gives us even more damage because of the percentage damage per dexterity and the increased attributes. So if you don't have enough currency, don't be afraid, just buy a wild wrap. It will even give you more damage. Should be even better for clearing bosses or fighting, I don't know, Sirus or any conquerors, any map bosses, because of the huge amount of dexterity it will give you. With Wild Wrap, you can probably reach more than 1,100 dex. So it's really a chest that you should consider to wear on this build. Okay. But obviously, if you want some explosions, you can craft a chest like this by using Awakener's Orb. Okay? Final thoughts. I feel like Hollow Palm is more like a leveling build or a pre-stage, stage 1 of a Cyclone or a melee build, because, you know, there is a cap regarding dexterity. You can really go much further from here, right? You can go, I don't know, you can reach 1,200, 1,300, but I can guarantee you that if you have a regular Impale Cyclone or Impale Melee build, and you stack as much physical damage and you min-max the build by using foils or two-handed weapons, I can guarantee you that you have much higher damage than this one. This is a build for, I don't know, maybe starter builds. Wild Wrap is not hard to get, Ascendancy is not hard to get, Star Conjas is not hard to get. You can use another boots if you like to. So it's really more like a build to use before to gather some currency and then switch to another one. This is what I feel like. I could be wrong, but I don't know. The damage is fine. We've reached around 10 million DPS. If we switch to Wild Wrap, we can go up to 12 million DPS. For a build that only stacks dexterity, this is amazing damage, in my opinion. And we didn't spend much. The only expensive part of this build was obviously the explosion chest, which you got pretty lucky. But with Wild Wrap, you shouldn't go further or higher than 15 exalts to build this one. For a starter build to do more than 10 million damage, it's pretty fine, pretty nice actually. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Obliteration.
What's this? A real challenge? You've finally caught my attention.
Ish. Die, boys. Eu acho que dá tempo de usar um Berserker antes dele trocar de fase, velho. Porque aqui, ó, eu vou perder todo o meu raid, provavelmente. Quer ver, ó? Eu nem usei o Enduring Cry, é verdade. Ó, meu raid vai todo embora. Dá pra usar um Berserker, hein? Quando ele encher mais ou menos em 20, talvez. Mernário do Service. Humilde demais. O que acha mais difícil, Sirus ou Berelder? Berelder, né? Mecânica mais trabalhada do Berelder. Nossa. Pulou rapidão, velho. Foi só usar o Warcry, você viu? Eu nem usei Raid. Foi o Zizran que dublou o Sirius. Parece a voz dele, né?
Interesting enough to warrant all this pain. Die.
Ó, usei o Berserk.
Silent. Die.
Berserkão. Show. Sirius 8, Sirius 8. Vai fazer alguma build nos próximos dias focada em clear? Vou sim, vou sim. No! Tomei Reduced Action Speed, ao invés de eu ter saído só, deveria ter só dado dodge nas bolas, velho, nos projéteis. Dá pra tancar, mano. Quase. No!